Take. This is Stephen, the Disney Drago Robinson. You're watching the one and only Sporting Icon. Bow!
Hello, people. It's Rico here for Sporting Icons with the man, the legend, the Newcastle legend, Stephen Drago Robinson. Disney Drago Robinson. Sorry, I forgot. How are you doing, my brother? How's everything?
I'm good, Rico. How are you? You have a good Christmas and New Year?
I had a really good Christmas, really good New Year. Gained a couple pounds, lost a couple pounds, but that's just.
I think we're all did.
How have you been, Stephen? Obviously, just want to kind of go through just the basics. Obviously, tell us about how how you're feeling after the Nick win, your health. Have you resumed training? Carry on, my guy.
To be honest, we got straight back into training. I was meant to be flying to Krakow on the 19th. That got cancelled. With flight, with what's going on with the flights and stuff, and being on strike. So once that got cancelled, I sort of got back into training because it's my job. It's not a hobby anymore. It's I get paid to train. I'm in a fortunate position with sponsors, so but there's nothing else really to do. And the gym's my escape mentally, physically, and without the gym, I'd sitting in the house playing. There's only so much Call of Duty I can play. So we got straight back into training. Feeling good. Felt great over Christmas. Obviously enjoyed myself. Similar to you, gained a few pound. Enjoyed my time with my friends and family, and got started to get back in training true and proper over the last few weeks, waiting for a date.
So, how were your thoughts after the Nick win? Obviously, that was I've spoken to you a couple of times about it. Spoken to Dan. We all know that it was a make and break, and you came through with one of the gutsiest, most heartwarming performances I've seen from a boxer in a long while. So congratulations to yourself, Stephen. That was a brilliant win. How do you feel, obviously, after that? Have you watched the fight back, taken any, errors or what you could have done better? How do you feel about it all?
And to be fair, when see a lot of people look back at the Shane Gill loss and don't realise mentally and what things were going on behind closed doors, and that's something that will never be spoke about. And I've never discredited Shane Gill's win. So I never went when the Nick Campbell fight was put towards me. I knew that I had to show what I had and why Sky invested in it, and that I'm not just this gimmick. I'm not just this. When Shane Gill beat us, I think everyone sort of just thought, he's gone, he's dead, he's buried, he's finished. And I wanted to prove everybody wrong, and show that that loss doesn't represent me. And I could have easily went down the journeyman route and rebuilt again, but I never wanted that. I've never really, other than Phil Williams, my record isn't padded. My first fight, I fought somebody 3 wins, 2 losses, coming back off beating an undefeated heavyweight from Ireland in Shane Duffy. And then my second fight was the same as me: 1 win, 1 fight, 1 win. He could have been the next Russian champion for all we know. We don't know what he was, what he had to offer. So I knew that I needed to step in with somebody who was reputable, who they were building up, and no better than Nick. And Nick showed that on the night. He was a warrior. He got back up twice off heavy shots, and he kept in the ring. He kept coming forward. So fair play to Nick for that, and fair play to Nick for taking it, because Nick didn't have to take that fight. It was make or break for both, really. And I think I think Nick needs to go away and look at what I done and come back off that, and rather than look at fighting journeyman and rebuilding again, just go straight in with somebody who's sort of 7-0, so somebody who's there, similar to what I'd done against him, and prove that that was just a bad day in the office. And watching it back, Nick, it's funny because Nick Nick sort of Nick sort of told him what he was going to do in the press conference. He said, "I've been training to avoid Stephen's right hand. I've been moving to my left." So after that press conference, I remember going back in the hotel room, and Mark went, right, left hooks, left hooks, left hooks, left hooks, left hooks, drill. And we spent the 2 nights, the Thursday and the Friday, in the hotel, just boom, 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 just practicing, just because he was wanting rid of that, so he was going to have to move to my left.
So he literally told you the game plan, Stephen, and then within
Pretty much,
the 2
obviously,
days
by
span.
accident. Well, by accident, he's obviously, he said, we've been training on avoiding Stephen's right hand and moving to the left.
Mm.
And that was like, well, that you've just pretty much without. And when you watch Nick's fights back, Nick comes out fast. He's a fast starter. And I knew the plan was go on the back foot for 3 rounds. And I'd said in the press conference, anybody that says, "Oh, it was just this," I'd said, I'll get him out in the 4th round. I told everybody in the press conference, live on Sky, I'll get Nick Campbell out in the 4th round, because Nick comes out fast. And I knew through what I'd been doing in sparring, go on the back foot for 2-3 rounds, because I'd sparred an amateur. So in Arlo's a very reputable, creditable GB amateur, and like Nick, they start fast, because amateurs are only doing 3-3, so they come out fast, and then the 4, 5, and the 6 rounds, that's when they start dropping off. So the sparring we had in was perfect, ideal, tall, rangy, long, fast starter, and the plan was go on the back foot for 2-3 rounds, and then at the last, if you're listening, you'll hear Mark and Joe shouting 1 on 1. That meant there was a minute left in the 3rd round. That's when, and then I caught him with that body shot.
Yeah, and that's when he went
I
down
caught
the
him
first
with
one.
an overhand right, because that's where that was the plan. Start to pick it up in the 3rd, 4th, and people go, people who were watching are saying, "Oh, he looked knackered, he looked tired." Listen, trust me now, I was that 4th round. I had another 4 rounds at that pace where I'm walking forward and hoying them looping shots. And was the boxing the best? No, but I had hurt him with an uppercut and a left hook. So why am I going to keep boxing him and keep getting grabbed?
Got him
When
on
I
the
can
ropes.
get his hands in, and it's a lot harder to grab somebody who's looping shots over. So boxing-wise, it wasn't the best, but you see red in there. It's fight or flight, and so watching back, yes, I took a few too many shots. Yes, I got into a fight, maybe in the 2nd round, where I sort of had my hands down, as though to say, "You're not hurting us." Maybe it's a bit of arrogance from my behalf, and I learned from that. But he hadn't hurt us, and his shots were getting softer as the rounds got on. First round, 2nd round, he caught us with a couple of uppercuts. He split all my tongue open, and then the 3rd round, I sort of thought, you're starting to tire, because you feel it in the shots. You feel when someone's starting to tire, because they're more arm shots rather than stretching through. Rather than coming from the hips, they're just little arm shots. And I felt that he was tiring in the 3rd, and that's when it was time for me to sort of to put it on him. So yes, I was two rounds down. I lost the 1st and the 2nd, probably won the 3rd, and then obviously that happened in the 4th. But that was the plan. So anybody watching who doesn't know from a boxing side of view, they'll be sitting thinking, they're critics of boxing, and that's fine. Let them think what they want. Let them. But we had a game plan and it worked, and that's all I can say. And I'm grateful that it worked, and I'm grateful for the win. And it's time to look past February with Shane and look forward. It's we've just seen on the weekend that Italian. Villadino, I think he's called, and they want an Olympian and Olympic medalist. He was being built to be the next big thing. He's just took a loss.
Yeah,
but it happens. It happens, and too many boxers are too worried about having a padded record for so long because of the likes of Calzaghe, the Mayweathers, the Tyson Furies. But realistically, it's a short game, and you need to get out quick as you can, especially in the heavyweight division. So it's for me now. It's time to just keep stepping up and keep rising and get to where I can in a short amount of time.
No, I mean, I completely believe that you can, Stephen. I think with that, obviously didn't display the same level of boxing ability compared to your other previous fights. Extremely understandable for obviously, outside reasons, etc. And also the amount of pressure on you. I mean, when I saw you the Thursday, Friday at the public workout, mate, it was almost as if this was the fight of your life. And from the display that we watched, we saw you fight for your life and your dream and everything like that. So nothing to be ashamed of. The only thing that well, not the only thing, but what I wanted to ask you, and this is the last thing I'll ask about the fight. Having seen it, obviously we understand the performance, but looking back at it, what are you looking to implement take from obviously maybe what you didn't do as well or the shortcomings? What are you looking to take from that and implement it in your game in the next fight?
I definitely need to make sure that as I'm jabbing, my chin's not up. As I move in strategically rather than just boom, boom with my chin in the air. And I need the hands up. It needs to, because as soon as I step up, there's these shots are going to take the toll on us, and as Macklin said, how many of these can he take? And it's probably a bit of arrogance from my behalf, because touch wood, I've never ever been hurt. I had 48 amateur fights. I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of sparring. I've had 6 pro fights, and I've never been on the canvas. I've never been hurt. I've never been at the point. So it's a little bit of arrogance from me, from my behalf. And the problem with me is with having ADHD, it's sort of, I have a game plan in my head, and then I get punched, and everything goes out the window, and it automatically switches to, oh, who the fuck you hitting? In my mind, and it happens in sparring, and it's something me and Mark and Giuseppe have worked on for a long, long time. And Martin's seen hundreds of rounds of sparring, and he'll say, I'm boxing lovely. I'm boxing, I'm moving, I'm slick. Then I get hit, and I think, I'm in a fight, yeah. And something switches in my mind where I go from boxing to wanting to fight you. And it's hard, because people won't understand who haven't been in the ring, B who aren't really, who haven't got ADHD, or those who do, and will realise that you just become fight or flight, and everything goes out the window. And it's something that I do need to change massively. I know I do, and I spoke to Johnny Nelson about it after the fight. I said the arrogance of not being hurt and not being knocked down isn't I call it arrogance, but it's not. It's my brain telling us fight him, fight him. He wants to hurt you. You need to hurt him.
Do you feel
And
that the ADHD, because obviously I think a lot of people don't know. I don't think you've well, I've not kind of heard you speak about it so openly as this interview, but obviously having ADHD, do you feel that it takes away from your concentration in the
well,
in the
definitely,
fight?
definitely,
I mean,
100%.
you've obviously repeated training techniques with your coach to try and as a
Yeah.
deterrent for that fight or flight when you do get hit and your brain just starts to say to you XYZ. Do you feel that it's becoming better in terms of the concentration the more you're working on it with your coach?
Eh, Like anything, it goes through drips and drabs where it's great, and then there's times where it's bad, and I tend to find that the 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 less sleep I have, the worse it becomes. And during fight week, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, I'm exhausted, I'm in a hotel room that I'm not used to, and I'm not sleeping well. And it's probably the fact that come fight night, I am fatigued, I am tired, I'm raring to go. I'm 3 weeks without one of them or any sex. So I'm if somebody prods us, I'm ready to snap.
No,
So
no weak legs for you, Stephen.
it's it's you know it's it, you know it is it's hard. It's very hard, and it is something that I massively need to change and work on. But it's more the mental thing than a physical thing, and
Yep.
we are trying, and I am trying, and as I say, but it's hard for me, Rico, because everything I'm doing now, I'm overachieving. Every,
Do you really feel that you're overachieving, Stephen? And the only reason why I've
massively.
asked this, obviously we're going to go on to Boxer's plans for you and what have you next. But you say obviously you're overachieving. You have sort of started late, not the most amateur experience compared to a lot of the other people within your division. Do you feel that you might be being a little bit hard on yourself, Stephen, considering the amount of opponents who you fought and their records compared to a Fraser Clark or another up and coming prospect in heavyweight?
I'm a realist, and
Yes.
I don't. I'll never. I'm the straightest kid you'll come across. It's black or it's white with
I don't
me.
think I've ever heard anyone say that.
I'm straightforward, and I'll tell everybody in the ring, and I'll tell anybody live on Sky. I said I'm not the best boxer, and I will hold my hands up and say, you know, and everything. I walked into the gym in 2014 to lose weight. Never had anything else on planned. Never expected to be where I am now. I walked in 135 kilo and had nothing. Not and said to the owner of the gym, who become my trainer now, Mark and Giuseppe, and said, "What's the best thing to lose weight?" And they said boxing, and that was the only reason I got into boxing. And I got kicked out of school. I haven't got GCSE. I'm not one of these that has something to fall back on if boxing doesn't work, because I wasn't, you know, I was a little shit in school. I was, that, and would do. It's like I didn't. I've always been told you'll become nothing. And when after the football in that field, I started to believe it. Well, you believe in yourself. You're not going to. If you get told something enough times, and that's when you've got to have that in the right people around you to keep pushing you forward. And this after the fight, that was my message. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something, because too many people, and it's the people that are close to you, it's your friends and those that want to see you out on the piss with them, because as soon as you stop drinking and stop buying cocaine or taking drugs, and they haven't got somebody to go out with every weekend, then you become nothing to them. So they want to see you feel. They want you out with them every weekend. They want that partner to go out on the drink with. And you know, as soon as you stop, you find your real friends. As soon as you stop wanting to go out on the drink, wanting to enjoy yourself, wanting to party, you find your true friends, because you soon start to get rid of the scrap. You soon start to, and then you have your circle who are there for you no matter what. You know, when I lost against Shane Gill, I had people around us who I was at the lowest of the low, but I was at the lowest of the low before the fight for something that had gone on you know, a week earlier. So I was low then. And then after that, I had 40 people travel down to Cardiff, and they're the people who were there for me and my family and kept my chin high. And I'm where I am now because of people like that. So when I say I'm overachieving, what I mean by that is I believed I would become nothing when football failed and with the injuries. As I say, when you're told something enough times, you do believe in it, and that's why now comments are turned off on my Instagram posts. I don't read any comments on YouTube videos. I don't read any comments on Sky Sports posts or videos or Boxers posts, because these people who troll you, they're lonely.
Yep.
And they're the ones who want to be in your shoes, so they put you down because they're feeling lonely. They're not happy with their own lives, so they go on social media to troll others. And it's something that, you know, when I say I'm overachieving, I don't mean in boxing. I mean as a whole, everything I do now. I've headlined my home arena that I went to as a kid. If somebody said that to me 8 years ago when I walked in the gym, I've competed for my country. I won an amateur title. I got into an ABA final. All this stuff. If somebody had said this 8 years ago when I walked into Vision, 135 kilos, I would have laughed at them. You know, and I'm a big believer of when you go to heaven and you go to the gates, you get told, "Are you happy with your life?" You know, and you sit there and you go, "Yeah, I suppose." And then you get given a piece of paper and so that's what you could have been. And I believe hell isn't hell. What you see on TV isn't hell with a fire and Satan and flames. I believe hell is you get given a piece of paper and said and told, that's what you could have achieved. That's what you could have been. But you didn't, because you were happy just to cruise through life. And you were happy just to be minimal in life and not do something. And I'm doing what I'm doing for these 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds who are sitting on their arses thinking, well, I can't do nothing with my life. I'm told every day at school I can't do something, or I'm overweight, or I'm not good at something, because I'm still not good at boxing. And, you know, I've just re-signed with Sky. I've boxed live on Sky Sports 3 times, and there's a million better boxers than us, but I've got more heart and more desire than any single person out there, and I'll put my heart on it, and unless you're to get me out that ring in a body bag, I will get that win, and that's that.
I honestly believe that, Stephen. Honestly, I genuinely do. You know, we've had such great interviews together, and I really am I'm rooting for you, brother. Genuinely. Actually, talking about that, so let's talk about your future in the fight game, sir. So, no fight date yet. Is there anything that you can tell the fans and myself, you know, about the next opponent? has been, and you know, Shane, you train much better. Have they come to you with a plan to say 2023, this is it? I know I asked you back pretty much after the fight in December, which wasn't really fair. But you know, if you want to tell us, you know, what's sort of happening with your career at the moment? What can we expect from Disney Drago 2023?
It's a bit awkward with Sky at the minute, because obviously there's a few things going on behind closed doors in the boxing, with something that happened with one of the people involved in Sky Sports boxing. I'm not going to get into that. Actually, got nothing about to talk about. But anybody who's watching and who knows will probably be able to put two and two together. So there's the Sky Sports boxing haven't really got an ambassador of the sport at the moment. So if you look, Sky Sports has started slow. You know, we've got the Callum Smith and Eubank fight, which was announced months ago, but there's actually been no shows officially announced yet. Coming in, you know, coming through February, so it's a slow start. That's unfortunately nothing Sky Sports can help, and unfortunately none of the fighters can help, but we're being told that we're looking to ideally get out on the 4th of March on the Taylor Campbell bill. And we've been told get ready for that. And then I think they've got a fight at Wembley 2 weeks later. So that could be a possibility, but we're just, you know, that's my manager's side of things. I don't get involved with all that. You know, Mark comes to me and he says, right, this is the fight day, but we've put in place, we want 5 fights this year. We want to get a 5-fight contract, obviously permitting no injuries. I live the lifestyle. I don't drink, I don't party, so 5 fights is achievable. So if we can get that in place and implemented, then, you know, if we get 2, and if Savannah and Clarissa come to St. James's Park, then, you know, I'd love that to be for a title. So if we can get some sort of title for that, we've got Robert Ismay versus Solomon Dacres. That'll be announced in the next few weeks. That's going to be for the English title. So, you know, that ideally, you know, I can see Robert winning that, and me and Robert would never ever fight. So we can put that one out the window. So if we can get some sort of interim title against, you know, a good opponent at St. James's Park, and sort of when Clarissa and Savannah rematch, then that would be, you know, walking out in front of 52,000 people at St. James's Park would just be, and winning a title is just, again, it's another box ticked of just believe in yourself. So going forward, it's down to management. I'm just there to be told, right, let's go. You're in fight camp, you're training. This is your sparring days. This is your running days. This is your strength days. Let's go. And that's how it's always been with me, because I overthink and I get into my head over maybe this is happening, maybe that's happening. So it's just, I don't get told things now purposely, where, you know, this is what's happening and that's it. And it's the same as with who you're fighting, what you're fighting. Again, it's something Mark will deal with. But the thing is, I've stepped up to there. I've you know, Nick Campbell was ranked, I think, 13th in Great Britain.
No, he wasn't internationally ranked. Sorry. That's actually what I wanted to ask you as well. So, obviously, you know, you know, probably wouldn't fight for the English title next, unless, you know, it being interim. Would you, in those 5 fights this year, is the Lonsdale belt at the end of those 5 fights?
Listen, again, a British title is what every British boxer wants. And 6 months ago, they were tipping Campbell to be the next British champion, the first Scottish heavyweight British champion, and obviously Campbell had the Scottish title, and 6 months ago I wasn't even being spoke about for this, and then Campbell was, and then I beat Campbell, and then, but there's people who are up there who are going to be called before me, and obviously if that stays with Matchroom, Sky, I can't see Sky and Matchroom working together. But
Do you think the
once you,
relationship is really that strained? They wouldn't have everybody together.
I think with what Eddie's come out and said about Ben and what I don't really get involved in all that side of things, but I can't see them working together. And obviously it goes on purse bids, but realistically, an English title holder is going to be first in line for a British. So if Robert beats Solomon, and then obviously Robert's going to be in line to fight for the British against Wardley, which will then vacate the English, which, is the English going to be available? But it's a funny one with titles because it's, it's whether your face fits.
Yeah.
And if you look at Dubois lost against Joyce. One fight later, he's a WBC interim champion.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He's mandatory to fight Usyk. So it's very if your face fits, if the promotion company have sort of, because you tend to find that certain promotion companies are closer to the governing bodies than other promotional companies, and it's very political when it comes to titles. And would I obviously that course that's the dream, that's the plan, and obviously that's Fraser's dream and Fraser's plan, and Jamie TKV's dream and Jamie TKV's plan. Any British fighter wants to be the British champion, and it's whether or not you get that opportunity. And as I say, I'll be in the gym 365 days of the year to get that opportunity.
No, that's brilliant, Stephen. Obviously, we've just literally got 2 minutes to go. Sorry, I should have said, but just very quickly, can I get your actually, can I get your 5 top fighters, male or female, currently in the world right now?
You know what? It's funny, Rico, because as I've said, I got into boxing to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm not a boxer. I can't sit and tell you. Like, people say to me, "Oh, have you seen this fight? Have you seen?" Ask me anything about football, and I'll tell you. And I'm a season ticket holder at Newcastle. I'll watch every game of football, from every World Cup game, every single FA. I'll watch it from 12 in the morning till midnight if I could. But when it comes to boxing, I probably couldn't name you 5 boxers. I'm just going to say Northeast fighters, just for the Savannah, Joe Laws, Robert Ismay, George O'Connor.
Nah, Stephen,
I'm not one of these, entrepreneur of boxing. I'm not a connoisseur of boxing. Sorry, not entrepreneur. I'm not a connoisseur of boxing. So when it comes to being able to tell you who's this and who's that, I'm not the best. Ask us about Newcastle and
all right. Do you reckon Newcastle are winning the? You reckon Newcastle are winning the league within the next 2-3 seasons?
No. I think we might win the League Cup this year. I think with the passion and the desire and the heart that we've got, but we'll not win the league in the next. Listen, Eddie Howe's doing an amazing job. We're doing amazing, but there's too many teams that are there. Listen, we're third in the league. We're halfway.
It is the best league in the world, to be honest with you. I mean, there's 10 teams now that could win it. That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal time to be involved in it, but I think it's going to take 4, just like it did with Man City when Man City first got to. But I think in the next 4 or 5 years, a possibility of doing that, but we need to get into Champions League football to get these players to have a name, because nobody wants to move to Newcastle. It's a shithole. So everyone wants to be in London or Manchester.
Actually, there's a next gen show there. I'll message you like after the interview and stuff. But I think there's a match next gen show there. So I really want to come to Newcastle. I've never been. And with yourself and Martin over there, I think it's only fitting that the time comes now. So, well, I'll definitely be speaking to you about it, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, you'd be more than welcome to come. But yeah, it's I think that's on the 5th of March. I think that's when the English title fight is. So
with Matchroom,
yeah.
Now, Stephen, thank you so much for your time as always. I will be covering your career until the wheels fall off, sir. So, and I genuinely wish nothing but the best for you, Stephen. Thank you so much for giving Sporting Icons your time today, and I hope you have a lovely day, brother.
Really appreciate it, Rico. Thank you very much, mate, and have a good day,
my friend.
Cheers.